Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm riding this, the brand new Vielo V+1 Race Edition. Looks pretty cool, right? So Vielo is a company you may have heard of. They're based here in England, northeast England to be precise. And this is their newest bike. They launched the original V+1 gravel bike back in 2018, which I rode at the time. But this is their newest model with bigger tyre clearance and full internal routing and a really cool sleek paint job. Now the trend in gravel right now is for wider tyres, even mountain bike tyres in some cases. But right now if you look around all the bikes on the market, there aren't many that actually allow you to fit a wide tyre, which is why V+1 is so interesting. Space for wide tyres with plenty of clearance between the frame and tyre for mud and other debris, rocks and stones that fall through. We also have a one-bike optimised frame design and some other cool features. So let me give you a tour around the bike and then we'll hit the trail, do some gravel, single track, climbing, descending and see how the bike and the tyres handle. And right off the bat, it's a fantastic paint job and I do like a fade, and this fade using the Vielo typeface is really cool. The Vielo logo on the top tube. And I have to say, I like the shape of the frame, the fork, quite sort of bulbous, round appearance. It looks quite chunky and reassuring. No drop rear stays, which are fantastic. Nice flattened rear stays for more comfort. They go right up to the top tube where we find a regular round seat post with the clamp just inside the elbow of the top tube, seat tube there. It's an oversized seat post as well, 30.9, not 27.2. So probably minimizing some potential flex, but you can, if you want, fit a dropper seat post, so that's pretty cool. The frame, as mentioned, is one bike optimized, so no funky dropped skinny rear stays down here, no asymmetric, because of one by. The bottom bracket, the down tube, is as wide as it can be, thanks to one by focus, and the rear stays are a reassuring size as well, not crimped in and not dropped, which is pretty ugly as well. So really tidy back end, nice big chunky fork, quite a small head tube, and then a full internal routing. We had their own carbon fibre handlebar and stem, kind of swept back design, flared drops as well. And the other detail on this race edition is it's designed for a SRAM wireless group set, so no redundant ports on a down tube or top tube or anywhere for mechanical gear cables or Di2. It is a SRAM bike. So really clean frame design. We have two bottom cage mounts there and an option to go lower or higher. And there's an option one down the bottom there and your bento box up there. But no mudguard mounts, no fork mounts, so just enough for a faster adventure. You can definitely go bike packing, but a race in the name does suggest this bike is aimed at, well, racing, riding fast, a stripped back gravel racer. And as I mentioned, space and wide tyres with good clearance. Plenty of clearance there for mud and stones that fall through. So really clean looking frame. You like my stick? Very high tech, eh? Then a press fit bottom bracket, flat mount disc brakes, and their own quick release through axle lever. That's kind of cool, I like that. And the spec on this bike is SRAM Force Explorer, same as on my Crocs, with 1044 out back. And Vielo have made their own custom machine chainring. It looks kind of cool, I like that. Zip 303S wheels with a Continental Terra hardpack 50mm wide tyre, which have a sort of very fast rolling tread pattern in the middle, a bit of shoulder knob action there, set of Tyres saddle, and the bike on the scales weighs okay, enough details. Let's saddle up and see how the bike rides. So this is my first experience on 50mm wide tyres. Been running 45 for the last couple of years and 40 before that. So gradually getting wider and wider. Running the tyre pressure super low, and straight away, just feel how much smoother the bike is with these big tyres. Definitely cushioning me from all the rocks and roots and riding over. Definitely more of a monster truck vibe going on. I reckon I could probably go a bit lower in the pressure actually. So yeah, it does remind me more of riding a mountain bike than a skinny tyre gravel bike. Conditions quite dry today, we've had a bit of rain, so sort of damp and muddy in places. And even though the tyre is a very slick tyre in the middle, the big volume gives you a big footprint. So traction is pretty good actually. So you're not slipping around over these rocks. The big tyre is just doing a fantastic job of reducing the harshness, all the vibrations come through contact points and letting me carry more speed over the routes. Ah, fantastic. I mean, it's still bumpy. Not like riding a full suspension mountain bike, but it's so much smoother than even a 45 or a 40. Like Canyon Grail with 40mm wide tyres, it's definitely a hard ride compared to this with 50s. What difference 10mm makes? Who knew? You can do a shorter section of road to the next bit of woods. And even on a tarmac or pavement, if you prefer, these big tyres are not slow. A bit more noise than a narrow tyre I'm used to. But like I said earlier, smooth down the middle, so it's rolling nice and quick. Doesn't feel slow, probably sounds slow because of the noise. But also getting the benefit of that big tyre on the road as well when it's rough and potholed. Gravel means different things based on where you live. For me, it means tame mountain bike trails, single track like this, which I love riding on these bikes. Yes, you might say a mountain bike is a better choice, but why? When you got a gravel bike with space with 50mm tyres, give you the speed and grip and capability. I love being underbiked. No suspension, just the tyres and some semblance of riding skill. Get through the tricky bits. I just can't believe what a difference these tyres make. The more I ride this bike, the more I'm minded to think that wide tyres are the way to go. I can't see any downside to these wide tyres other than aerodynamics, but I'm not racing, although the bike does have racing in its name. But for the riding I want to do on this bike, the upsides of wide tyres outweigh so far any downsides. But Dave, you might be asking, does it actually have mud clearance around these wide tyres? Well, just for you, I found some mud. So there we go. Plenty of mud on that rear tyre, and it's all fine down by the chainstays. No clogging, no problems at all. And now, doesn't the bike look much better with some mud? So yes, it might be summer right now in the UK, but it's still muddy out there. And that for me, I think it passed the mud clearance test. This Vielo has a very planted, stable feel in a straight line. Can feel a long trail and a slack head angle. I think it's 17.5 and a very long wheelbase. It's just not dancing around as much as a shorter, steeper gravel bike. Even more planted than my Specialized Crux, the Canyon Grail. So definitely let me carry more speed down the hills and through the corners. Like a combination of big tyres and that laid-back geometry. Definitely more mountain bike inspired than a road inspired gravel bike. Oh, it's fantastic down here. It's just making it so easy. Whee! It's so much fun. The bike is so much fun to ride. The big tyres and the laid-back geometry. The benefit of that high-speed stability and just planted steering, cornering through the rough, you sort of pay the price in terms of just how nimble it feels at lower speeds, and maybe it feels a bit docile at a sort of speed, but you don't want the steering being too lively at speed, do you really? You want it set up and tuned for that high speed action where gravel bike can feel nervous and twitchy. But so far the bike has not given me any alarming sensations at higher speeds. So who on earth is a bike aimed at? Well, based on my riding so far, for me it's a bike to choose if you're doing any sort of long distance gravel event. Think the Tracker, the Rift, even the Unbound. Any event where you're doing 200 kilometers, 300, 400, and you're traveling fast and light, and you want comfort for the terrain you might encounter, this bike would be absolutely awesome. 50mm tyres, nice 1x wide range gearing, put a bag on a top tube, loads of bottles in there for water, and that geometry to look after you on faster, rougher sections, and it would be absolutely fantastic. It's definitely one of the most capable, fun bikes I've been on for a while. It does make me wonder why I'm still running 45mm wide tyres and I haven't moved to wide tyres, because they're so damn good. As we know, I'm a fan of one bike already, so I've got to explore on my own crux. Fantastic gear range, all you need really for gravel. Even though we've got quite laid back geometry, it does turn the corners through a single track nicely. So if you're looking for a gravel bike that genuinely has space and wide tyres and a sort of geometry that really lets you smash down rocky, fast descents in complete control, the Vielo V+1 is definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. I haven't ridden many gravel bikes with such wide tyres, so it makes comparisons fairly tricky, but it does bring to mind the Vielo Adler, the Merida Silex, the BMC Urs, the 51 Assassin, in terms of their geometry, their shape, and that real focus on a high speed stability and bringing some of that mountain bike geometry to bear on a drop bar bike and space for proper wide tyres. With clearance, there's no mudguard mount, so it's not the most versatile bike, but for gravel, bike packing, racing, off-road, yeah, it ticks those boxes, it definitely ticks those boxes. This is just a quick review though, not a full long-term in-depth test. Let me know if you want to see that by leaving a comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel by hitting the button on screen right now. And if you want to see a roundup of the best gravel bikes you can buy right now, then watch the video on screen right now. But that's all today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon.